Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Sounds like
it's so bad.
It's like a
also,
dare. Like I want to watch it, but I don't want to watch it. It's like you guys are daring me to go to the old train station or something.
I know, it's like taunting you. Like it's one of those things. Like you don't want to come in here. The dangers are too. Like it's just that fucking Wonka thing. Also, okay. Last thing about Lady Ballers. Halfway through the movie, the team comes out. Do you want to guess what their basketball team is called?
I forget.
The other
Lady Ballers.
Right.
The team is named the Lady Ballers.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why would
I don't know, man. Listen, it's a bad movie.
I guess with all the other teams are called the
very bad
Hawkettes,
movie.
then I guess Lady Ballers isn't like out of place. But it's just like, no, your movie's called Lady Ballers. They wouldn't let you name the team that. It's so stupid. I hate it. They hate journalists so much. It is like dripping with there's
It's one of the angriest movies ever made.
They're so fucking mad. God, they hate them so much.
It's just hate.
It's just
so much
just
hate.
It's so incredibly angry.
Just cramming in all the mRNA stuff. It's like this is just you're just cramming in everything
like,
that
doesn't make any
bothers you.
sense. Doesn't make any sense. Why are you saying this stuff right now? You're so mad. If you're watching Lady Ballers in 5 years, you're gonna be like, wait, what the fuck is this referencing? Like, what are they talking about? Like, this is such a niche, like, current event to reference. Anyway, I said I was done.
Bad movie.
No one's ever really done.
No one's ever done with Lady Ballers.
Pacino in Godfather 3. You just saw Lady Ballers. Can't stop talking about it. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're on an episode of Hypecast.
It's
a show where we get hyped about stuff and things. I'm your co-host, Tom Ryman.
I'm your other co-host, David Bell.
I'm your guest, Cody Johnston.
Cody.
Hey!
Hello.
How are you?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for asking, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you for being on. How are you? What have you been up to? What's life like?
I mean, you know what I've been up to. Most recently, I just watched Lady Ballers from the Daily Wire Plus Studios. I don't know what they're called. So that's where I'm at right now. Not a great time.
That's dark. That's dark. I just pictured being a subscriber to Daily Wire Plus.
God.
Oh, trust me, you do not need to be a subscriber to watch Lady Ballers.
And I was just imagining what that must feel like.
Oh,
like,
God,
you're like,
Oh yeah,
it's like
where
sitting
it
down
is.
with
your bank
popcorn. You're like,
account.
oh, I've been waiting for this to come out. I can't wait to see this hit comedy, Lady Ballers.
That's what I was imagining. It's like getting together with friends and like watching it, and everybody and like having to laugh.
getting the fellas together.
Yeah,
I'm fascinated. It's one of those things. Like, I'm glad it wasn't in theaters, but I kind of wish it was so that I could go and like see like what's everyone laughing at? Like, what are your favorite parts? Like, what's hitting for you? You know?
hand out like note cards at the end, like it's a test
just
screening.
let me know. This is for me. I want to know what hits
What is
with
this
you.
doing for you?
Oh, it's so bad. We don't need to talk about Lady Ballers. That's where I was at last night. Before that, I was pretty good too, though. I wasn't watching Lady Ballers.
That's cool.
My bandmate from the Hot Shapes recently visited a couple weeks ago. We got into the studio in person for once. That was fun.
Nice.
Opportunity for me to say, hey, folks, check out the Hot Shapes online. That's where we mostly live. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, you're on.
Go check out Lady Ballers. Oh, yeah, we're online. We're on SoundCloud and Bandcamp.
All right, that's a plug. That was a good plug.
Yeah.
It was
Thank
natural.
you so much. Very
Stealth
natural.
plug,
Exactly.
Yeah, very organic plug.
Yeah,
It's your fault for asking me how I am.
yeah.
That's true. I'll never
Yeah,
make
you're
that
right.
mistake
That's
again.
all
Wait, no. No, please ask again sometime.
From here on, every time I'll just go, Cody's fine. And then
He's
we'll move
fine,
on.
all right? Everything's fine.
But what if I'm not? What if I just watched Lady Ballers?
Oh, fuck.
Oof.
Well,
Man.
we're not here to talk about Lady Balls. We're here to talk about some exciting trailers.
Yes.
And thank you so much, Cody, for being on.
Yes,
and
thank you.
also,
Absolutely.
thank you to our patrons, specifically our patron producers, of which I will now begin to list
Flawless.
very naturally.
Flawless.
So,
Love it.
Limped in there.
big ol' thank you to @NerdNumbers.
Thank you.
Very much. Thank you to Zero Charisma.
Thank you.
Thank you to A Bag Full of Bags.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Aaron Burser.
Thank you.
Thank you to AJ.
Thank you.
Thank you to Andrew Howe and Andrew McGuire's Awkward Meet Cute.
Thank you.
Thank you to Andrew. Cody deserves more hype, McGuire.
Wow.
Thank you to Asking Seven.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Man, they're getting real abstract with some of these things. Let me swoop in here. Thank you to Bob Grenville.
Thank
Thank you to Bootler
you.
Bootlerson.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you to Brian who Tom knows.
Thank you.
Thank you to Brockway loves the Meat Millie.
Thank
Thank you to
you.
Burrito wants you to drink water, hit the gym, and do the ska, because they loves y'all.
Ska.
Thank you to Chester's Prophet.
Thank
Thank you to
you.
Christopher Robert Sparks, Esquire.
Thank you.
And thank you to Dan Hackroyd.
Thank you.
you.
All right.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Are you guys ready for some fairly mid trailers?
Oh, man, these are some real late February trailers.
Yeah.
We are feeling it. We are feeling the slog.
There's like a couple where I'm like, yeah, but all right, let's just
Let's
get
go through,
started
we'll go through
here.
it. There's some.
This is Horizon, an American Saga, starring and without looking up, I'm going to assume directed by Kevin
yeah,
Costner.
of course.
We have
No.
to assume, yeah.
Listen, this has been in his head since the 1980s, apparently. He's been trying to make this
really?
epic saga. Yeah, apparently he's been trying to get it. He pitched it to I think Disney, a while ago, and it's finally getting made. This is supposed to be a planned part 1 of 4.
Whoa.
He's planning to make 4 of these. 2 of them have already been made,
Yes.
as
I
this
had
trailer
this-
makes clear.
Right, I had the situation where I was like, is this related to Yellowstone or because I
don't
don't really
think
know
so.
what Yellowstone is.
It doesn't
and
seem to be.
He's been sort of lately, it feels like obsessed with cowboy stuff. Honestly, for a while.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like
His
it's like
entire
his
career.
go-to. It's his go-to, right?
Yeah,
the way that
Silverado, Dances with Wolves, Wyatt Earp, The Postman is basically a Western.
Yes,
He
yeah.
loves
Right.
that shit.
I mean, even
Open Range, I
even
think,
like
was him.
Waterworld is kind of got that vibe, even though it's on the sea and
Right.
a sci-fi bullshit. He's got.
No, he's
got the
always-
guy.
That's probably how he pitched it.
It's
You know,
a
it's
Western
sci-fi
at sea.
bullshit, but
Sci-fi bullshit, but it's like a Western at sea, kind of.
yeah.
we're going to use lots and lots of digital effects to make my hair look cool.
Yeah.
So don't even worry about that. I know what you're
I think-
thinking. Is his hair going to look cool? It is.
It is.
I wonder because this doesn't say Chapter 1. Looking at IMDb, it says Chapter 1, Horizon and American Saga. I'm so scared to find out the runtime of this.
I know.
but-
Just the vibes are like this is a long ass fucking movie.
The
Yeah.
vibes of the man himself, too. Like, all of his
Yes.
movies are long-winded.
Yeah.
I'm getting like Rebel Moon vibes, I guess.
A little
'Cause, like,
bit. Like, this is pure... I don't know. It feels like... like, Costner goes through these cycles, apparently, where he gets a lot of success that seems to be deserved, right?
Right.
Gets a really overinflated sense of his own ego, he gets a really big head, leaves his family, implodes his career, goes back to being a humble supporting actor. Like, he's done this whole cycle already once before. Now he's doing it again. Like, he was in supporting roles, building back up to Yellowstone, which has been a huge hit for him. Like, as soon as he got that success from Yellowstone, he's like fighting with the showrunners. He leaves his wife. He puts out this four-part Western.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I just don't...
It feels like for the record, I love a lot of the Kevin Costner movies.
I do too.
Especially his older stuff. But
too.
he feels like a guy who's had multiple midlife crises over the span of like 30 years.
I like most of his movies. It's just
this is probably going to be a compelling film. It's just so much of it. There's just so much.
And like I don't know. It appears to be centered around this frontier town called Horizon, and it looks like there's a couple of different storylines that are going. Like, there's some Native Americans, there's young settlers, there's Costner, who's a different character, and I think there's even another group of people in there. So I get
there's some ladies who want to have sex with him.
That's right. His fucking 70-year-old. He is 70. He's got, like, I think Sienna Miller pawing all over him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who does not?
Yep.
There's.
Yep.
But anyway, it looks like a standard, kind of like, I don't want to say standard, but like a standard epic. You know, a lot of different storylines
like there's
coming
something
together.
about it, and like there's something you said for like not necessarily needing to have like a very like noticeable like it looks like a Kevin Costner movie, but like this trailer just looks like any movie, and it's got this very like. It makes sense that he's had this idea for so long. It just feels like a 90s movie a little bit.
Right, which me. Again, it isn't a bad
it's not
thing.
bad.
For me, the thing for me is like they left out chapter 1, right? So when it says Horizon and American Saga, again, like it's kind of like how Rebel Moon was Rebel Moon, and then it was like Rebel Moon Part 1.
Child of Fire.
And so it's almost like they're hiding the fact of
right.
like, there's this feeling of like they're hiding the fact that it's going to take fucking forever to watch.
Right.
Well, it does have the thing at the end that says like Part 1 July or June, Part 2 August or some crap.
Okay.
So this is what I was going to say.
But even
also,
that they're hiding. That's 4 parts.
They do. Yeah, it's 4 parts. Each one is apparently under 3 hours, which is nice of them to do.
Oh, under 3 hours.
It is the first time I think I've seen like this is how. Well, we'll see. Also, maybe this is a bad example to try it with, but like this is how you do Part 1 and Part 2. In June, when people are seeing movies, here's Part 1. 2 months later, you can see Part 2. Like, get them while it's going instead of like, I don't think anyone's going to be clamoring to see Horizon Part 2 in a year and a half, you know?
Right.
The Matrix did that, and it was huge.
Exactly.
Right? I feel like another movie series has done that recently, but that's the one I like vividly remember, where Reloaded came out like in May and Revolutions came out in November, and even that, like waiting that 6 months.
That's
like,
still a long time. Yeah.
I gotta see it.
Yeah. Some movies are do like every year. You know, I think the Harry Potters were like every year and stuff.
They were
and like,
pretty
that's like a
consistent.
steady schedule, but like doing like no, you get to see Part 1 now, and it's 2.5 hours long, and in a month and a half, get back in there.
Yeah, which is really good. Like it kind of reminds me, like when I'm looking at this, I keep wondering, like, well, why not making a TV show, right?
Well, that's what I was thinking. I just wanted to say this real quick before it gets out of my head. I feel like this is his Lonesome Dove.
Yeah,
I was gonna
like he's making like a mini series almost.
He's making a mini series,
Yes.
but I actually think this is better. I have like after watching the new season of True Detective, my big gripe is still like, why are we making 6-episode TV shows? And so it's like, I guess this could be a mini series if it's 4 chapters and they're all around 3 hours. But it also like, there's something to be said about like, no, like, you know, like 4 solid movies. If these all have a through line for each individual movie, then ultimately it seems totally fine. It's just, it's like, I don't know, it's all a little funny. Like, it's like if this, I guess I would be a little more excited about it if it was a one-off movie and not, but it's also like, well, it's not gonna hurt to watch this movie and then decide based on that if I'm gonna watch the others, right? Like that's perfectly fine. So I am concerned that they really gloss over Luke Wilson, because Luke Wilson
really
is
hit a
in
Luke
one
Wilson
shot.
in there. Yep.
And I think Luke Wilson has a problem with a few people where they don't have Western face. Luke Wilson is not, and it's weird because he's also in 3:10 to Yuma.
Right.
So like
they sneak him in there too. It's like an uncredited role.
Right. And I'm like, what's going on there? You got. I mean, and Sam Worthington's in there. There's a lot of people who I don't believe to be existing.
The Janie Campbell Bower, Vecna, is in it, and and he just looks like he normally looks. So I guess he kind of looks like Old West freak. Like he
I was gonna say the ones that are in this that I noted is Will Patton, where I'm like, yep, that's an Old West guy. Giovanni Ribisi always looks like kind of an Old West little worm guy.
He's got
give him a bowler hat.
Yeah, you put a beard and a hat on him. Yeah, he's basically he's like a Ben Foster character.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael
Bowler hat
Rooker's
weasel
in there.
was exactly
Yeah. So it's got a full spread. I don't know. When is this coming out?
This summer.
June, and then August.
The only other thing I wanted to say is just in my earlier comment about the cycle of Costner's hubris is like I'm astonished that a studio gave him this. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's Westerns never do well historically. So like going big on this like huge swing to put out. We're making 4 of these. Like Costner's popular right now, but like I don't know.
Yeah, is he successful Western popular? Is the question. That's like pretty rare.
It's extreme. You wouldn't think it, but like the most successful Western ever is the Coen Brothers True Grit remake.
Right.
And that made a little over $100 million. It's just it hasn't been like his big epic westerns in the 90s famously bombed. Like Wyatt Earp and The Postman kind of were the final nails in his coffin. So that's the only thing I wanted to point out. It's like it seems like you're doing the same thing again, Kevin. Like I don't.
It does. I think where I'm gonna come down on this of like now that we've discussed it all, I'm like I'm pro this. I don't know, like the fact that this trailer is just coming out and we're hearing like, oh yeah, this is going to come out in a few months, and then the second one is going to come out a few months after that. Like that alone, I'm like, thank you for not taking up too much of my time. With this fucking marketing campaign.
Not talking about it for too long, not making a thing.
I'm also like, I don't know who's going to be scrambling to see this. I assume it wasn't made for a huge budget. It was probably made with what you're saying in mind, I hope.
I think I read on Wikipedia that it was 100 million, but again, it's Wikipedia, so that's unclear, and it's also unclear whether that's for one film or both films.
I was gonna say if that's for both films, they got themselves
that's not bad.
A good deal. Yeah.
That ain't bad. I don't know. I wish I knew a little bit more about what it was about because it's sort of hard to piece together, and like the scenes that are in this trailer aren't particularly interesting.
Yeah.
So
it's got some decent action, I'd say, but yeah, it's like there's a scene at the end where they want to show the shootout to show like it's got action, and like that shootout wasn't particularly compelling.
No, it was just like Costner very like he's quick, but he's also very disinterested. And when he, I assume that's probably part of his character, but it's not the most exciting thing to show in your trailer.
But like the stuff where like the family's under attack and stuff like that did seem pretty intense, you know. Has he directed stuff? I mean,
Costner?
He directed The Postman,
Dances with
didn't
Wolves.
He?
He won the Oscar for it.
Right. So yeah,
he directs most of his movies.
Oh, actually, he hasn't directed since Open Range.
Yeah. Well, his big like headlining
Postman.
movies. Yeah. Like his big ones in the 90s. Like all those. Wyatt Earp was him. Postman was him. Dances with Wolves, like I said. Robin Hood is essentially him because Kevin Reynolds quit. Waterworld was essentially him because Kevin Reynolds quit again.
Yeah, he seems difficult.
He makes that one guy quit a lot.
Yeah. All right, I'm into this. Speaking of the 90s, this next one feels like the 90s to me. This is Challengers. This is the sexy tennis movie. I think we covered it once before.
Right, from the director of Call Me by Your Name. Is that right?
Yeah, the Suspiria remake.
And Suspiria and what was it? Bones and All, most recently.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Call Me by Your Name, but I did not care for the Suspiria remake nor Bones and All.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
I've only seen the Suspiria remake, which I also didn't care for. What do you guys think about this trailer, though?
It's fine. It's a movie I probably won't be seeing.
Right.
But it doesn't look bad necessarily for what it is. I have so few opinions about this particular trailer.
Yeah. Sorry, Dave.
Oh, no, I was just going to say this made me feel my age because I love that we're making a sexy tennis thriller. I love that. Mm-hmm. But I was looking at these people and I'm like, oh, I don't want to watch these kids fuck.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, these are, and then I realized like, oh, yeah, that's just because I'm fucking old.
We're old now. Because we're old
and
now.
so like, it's not for me, but I'm really happy that like young kids get to masturbate to this tennis.
Yeah, movies like this, and like also there's some sinister stuff going on too. Like like the sexy thriller, like who to trust, that kind of thing.
I like how weird it looks. Like this, I was never super into this style of thriller. I guess it was because the premise is she's a tennis pro, Zendaya, and then she hurts her knee, and then she starts coaching these two fuckboys. It basically creates a triangle between the three of them, and she's just manipulating them for whatever reason. I like how weird it looks. I like that how uncomfortable it looks. It's just not like I appreciate those movies when they're well made. It's just I don't get a lot out of it because I just get like really uncomfortable watching them. But it looks like intense and weird, and like it's probably again this director hasn't really made anything that's landed with me, but I like that he's making weird shit. I like that this is not like, this seems like an elevated type thriller for the young folks, so I'm glad they're getting one of those. I'm glad it's not like a sliver. It seems to be more thoughtful than that. I sort of believe in it. It's sort of like I'm not a big fan of that Lobster person, that Mr. Lobster. Oh, Yorgos.
Who makes the lobster. Yeah, but I'm like glad they're making the stuff they're making.
Yeah,
I haven't
weird
seen Poor
ass
Things
shit.
yet. Yeah, where I'm like, who gives a shit what I think if it's weird and it's like, and it's interesting and it's something that is.
It feels a little. It feels a little Hitchcock now that I think about it. Just like somebody, like she's injured, and so she's just kind of like toying with these two idiots because she can. So it's like her bitter. I don't know. It feels a little Hitchcock. Yeah. It
feels like, again, like 90s too, where I'm like, I hope this makes a lot of money. Like I hope this is a hit with the kids because, like, I don't know, it's sending us more in a positive direction for like a lot of diverse and weird movies.
Yeah. Movies should be more weird.
Yeah, I also don't. What do you guys think of that? Like, there's this ongoing premise about like kids not liking sex in movies, and I don't really. I've kind of rejected that premise a little bit.
I don't know that it's necessarily true. Yeah,
discourse online, which I don't know if is necessarily represented. I don't know if there's any polling on that, on like their opinions, but it seems possibly just overblown in that TikTok online sense.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me.
Same here. Like, I think there's this idea of like, I don't think kids like watching movies with their parents where sex suddenly happens.
No, nobody
does.
I think,
I think that's a concern, and I do think that some movies will like have like a sex scene to do, basically to abridge the concept of a relationship. You know what I mean? To be like, see, these people like each other, we're going to do a 30-second sex scene. And then, like, like in almost replacement of a charisma. Like it can be I mean,
that's part of, I think doing it just for the sake of being erotic is valid, right? Like, because that's an artistic state. That's a thing
if you're making a sexy thriller.
Yeah, that's a thing you just, I don't know. It's
what I mean is like in like an action movie, if they need to show a connection between characters and they just show them fucking and then they move on, it's like it seems like it's like a easy thing to put in to show that.
Also, sometimes people, like in the Friday the 13th movies, sometimes sex scenes are in there because it makes your target audience happy.
Yes, there's a lot of that in horror where it's like, listen, we got 30 minutes of Time
yeah,
to
we
film.
gotta. Apparently, there's this one study from UCLA about how Gen Z teens, Gen Z teens anymore? I think that's Gen Alpha. I don't know. What is it? 47.5% say that sex is not necessary to the majority of TV show and movie plots.
I mean, that's probably true. But...
yeah, they want to see more like platonic relationships, aromantic relationships, things like that, and less sex. But that is also not a majority of people. And like,
right.
I think it is a symptom probably largely of that sort of like just the sex scene, because we got to have the sex. We got to have that sort of like element
it really
of
it. It really started getting note. I mean, it was almost like a punchline. Like it became almost a meme. But like on Game of Thrones, it's like really kind of how it started to get.
Yeah. Right. Whereas
And,
like if it has a purpose
comedies.
and reason or some artistic like merit, I think, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of comedies, I think, too. Like, I think that's correct. That it gets injected in a lot of things that it don't necessarily need it in.
Yeah,
So-
but like, I mean, you don't need the vast majority of things that happen in a movie. Probably, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But if you're making fuck tennis, then yeah, you're gonna have
You're gonna need fuck, and you're gonna need tennis at the very least.
You know what? For example, probably shouldn't have a lot of sex scenes. Our next trailer,
Smooth.
the Spiderwick Chronicles.
That's true.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Perfect segue.
Excellent.
I have not read the Spiderwick Chronicles. I don't know what it's about.
Same.
Spooky house looks like.
A spooky house run by Christian Slater, who's apparently secretly a monster who wants to eat all these children.
Yeah. I'm
yeah.
not familiar with this at all. Looks yeah. If I was like target audience and like had read the books, like yeah, looks good. Looks faithful. Looks like a faithful adaptation, I assume.
I know nothing about the story.
Yeah, just judging it from what we're looking at, like I think it looks kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like it looks kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Like I like that little camouflage dude at the end.
I think it's Slater.
There's
isn't
Slater
it?
in the
Is it
wall.
Slater?
Because he's the monster, and I like that element of the trailer where it's like, oh, Christian Slater's here, and then he's like, I do want to eat the kids. Like, oh, it's him.
Oh shit.
It's funny to me because like I don't know if this is weird to say, but like when I look at Christian Slater, I don't think of someone who eats kids. He just doesn't have.
He's got
kid
child
eating
eating
face.
energy. Yeah.
No, he doesn't. And so like that's interesting. It's an interesting.
Which is
choice.
interesting
we wanna
because
see
he
him stretch,
has been arrested for biting someone.
Has he?
He was, yes.
Really?
That's very funny.
Who can say?
Yeah.
Sure.
Perhaps he's
why
been
not?
trying to tell us all along.
Yeah. This looks like kids Hellboy. Like it has
Yeah,
like fairies
kinda,
and
yeah.
unicorns, but it's like gritty and creepy. Like yeah, and I wonder, is it like awesome to be a kid right now with like the programming that's out there? Is that because like this looks awesome if I was a kid? And it's like there's a lot of this like like every TV show is now like a little Harry Potter. And like I don't know, this seems pretty awesome.
Yeah, it seems like it would be awesome, or it might be too much. I think
Right.
it's hard to gauge because it's all these properties that like I don't know or care about.
right.
So it's hard to tell if it's like they're doing too much of this stuff, and then it's like not. I don't know. It's oversaturated, but I don't know.
There's probably an
I would have
extent of
loved
that,
to
yeah.
have all this cool shit.
Right.
back then.
I mean,
This got
We had some
rescued
cool
from
stuff.
somewhere, right? It's coming out on Roku, but I feel like it was originally like Disney Plus or something.
really,
I think.
that doesn't surprise me.
Let me look this up. Let me get to the bottom of this. I feel like that's
Yeah.
the case.
Yeah, I don't know. It's this feels like it would be on Disney Plus. It has quite a budget, so it feels like it's like, well, Roku didn't. This isn't like
Yeah, they're
Roku's
not gonna
money.
be footing the bill for that.
Yes, it was supposed to be on Disney Plus.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, the Roku original stuff is, of course, a whole other thing where it's like, I'm not watching shit on Roku. I'm sorry, like I'm not. I have all of the subscriptions. I don't think I can handle a Roku subscription
It's
right
too many
now.
things.
I'm just not,
Far
yeah.
too many
I had to
things.
get fucking Peacock and fucking.
Yeah.
I had to get the fucking Paramount Plus to watch the goddamn Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm still mad about it.
Still mad about it. I didn't want Paramount Plus.
Now
Also,
I got
Peacock is the worst. I don't know if anybody listening has this, or if you guys have this. It is the worst. It is the worst app. It functionally, it does not work. Bad
It's
job.
not good.
It's
It
terrible.
is pretty shitty. Yeah.
There's if we're griping, I've also noticed fucking Hulu has been really pissing me off. Where if you start to watch something, like we were binge watching Adventure Time, but it keeps skipping because it's been watched before, and then it like. And when it when it like hits the credits, it like skips to the next thing. But then when it's something you've watched before, it skips to the last 30 seconds
of that thing that you already
of
watched.
that clip, and it doesn't know to just reset it. I think Disney Plus does this too. So if you're not paying attention,
Disney Plus gives you no way to. Yeah. It's maddening to like try to watch The Simpsons on Disney Plus.
right? And it's like surely they understand that people watch things and then go back and start again.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like,
It's like
you
part
get
of
this
their model,
like
right?
Right, like
Right.
the binge watching model is like the one actual success of streaming.
right, and there's this weird loop sometimes I'll get into where it's like just the last 30 seconds of these shows. If you're not paying attention, I'll be like, why am I like I'm on my phone or something? I'm like, why am I hearing the theme every 30 seconds? And I like look up like, oh, it's on this like weird loop where it's just showing the end of episode. Like I don't know. It's weird that we still haven't figured that out.
It is weird, Dave. Let's move
Should
on.
we talk about sharks?
We should
Something
talk
in the
about
water?
sharks.
Yeah, let's talk about sharks.
Something in the water. As I wrote in the notes, it's a bunch of ladies on a destination wedding going to some little island for like a day thing with just as gals. One of them gets hurt. They have to get back, but boat crashes and now they're stuck and there's a shark. And I wrote in the notes like this has become like a genre of shark movie now, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like we're stuck and there's a shark. There's a lot of
Literally
these.
saying something in the water, I feel like, is the genre. where
Yeah,
it's
something
like,
in the water.
Almost, yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah.
yeah, where it's we're in the water, and there's I don't know,
jerking. There's something. Yeah, that move.
and like we had Jaws, right?
Yeah.
Then we had The Shallows, and maybe it's
Jaws is
subjective with The
different.
Shallows.
I wouldn't call Jaws "We're stuck and there's a shark."
Well, that's what I was about to
Yeah.
get into.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
like Jaws is like a definitive shark movie. Here's the shark movie. And then The Shallows is the we're stuck and there's a shark. There's also that one where they're deep the something
37
water.
meters down.
Oh, I was thinking of it even before that. The one where it's like the two scuba divers and their boat leaves them.
Oh, the reef, I think, right? Open
No.
water.
Open
water. That's
Yeah.
the one, yeah.
Open Water, I think, was one of the earlier ones. And from my understanding, I never watched that, but from my understanding, that's even more simpler, where it's like there's not even like a shark for a lot of that. It's just
You're
the
in the
two,
water,
the two
yeah.
people floating in the middle of the. It's pretty.
Which is
I watched
terrifying.
It,
Like-
yeah, I watched it
Yeah.
when it came out. It had I think it's found footage as well, or at least it's constructed in that way. So it is like fucking terrifying, but yeah.
Yeah.
Open Water 2 apparently isn't even.
I've
thought
seen that
it-
one too. It's entirely different.
It's a neater. I thought it was a neater basic premise, which is that there is a boat, there's just no ladder. So like.
That's
you're-
right. And then they
yeah,
have to.
you're just like-
There's the boat's right there. That's right.
Oh,
And
Yeah,
that's-
they just can't get on it,
No,
which is
they
a
can't get up on
great
the boat.
idea.
Yeah.
That's
I
a great
forgot about
idea. Huh. That's cool.
That's all to say that like these days,
Why are we doing this?
yeah.
And this does. I do want to point out this does have an interesting hook where it's like basically they don't have a boat. One of their friends has a horrible injury on her leg. So it's basically they're making a human raft and trying to hold her leg above water and pat and swim her. That's kind of an interesting thing. Like,
That's
okay,
interesting.
Yeah, that's
this
not
is
terrible.
the situation we're in.
But I guess, and maybe I don't know enough about shark movies or sharks, but I was just watching this trailer and I'm like, okay, so like they're dead in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a shark in the water and they're all bleeding into the water. They're dead.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like right? Like why are we?
Yeah,
How
you'd
is this a
think.
movie? Maybe they like come up with like clever ways around the fact that they're bleeding in the water and there's a shark and they're dead. Like
Yeah,
I don't.
I think-
It
I don't
looks
know.
like there's some of that. Like they're breaking off to try different things. Like at one point in the trailer, somebody's like, "Well, one of us needs to like try to go swim for help." And then as the trailer progresses and we see scenes that are clearly from later in the movie, they're all like really sunburned and gnarly looking. So This
they
one could
climbed onto a thing.
Yeah, there could be something to this. It's just I really feel the fatigue of this premise watching this. Through no fault of this movie itself, it's just
Right.
I don't know.
I think maybe Open Water covered this because I think one of the things we do with sharks, you either make Deep Blue Sea, you go over the top, or you make this gritty version, right? But like even like the Shallows, for example,
or you make like an adventure which I guess is Deep Blue Sea, but I'm thinking of Jaws when I think of like the adventure version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but most of these movies kind of hinge on the idea of sharks are like vindictive. Like the Shallows,
hold grudges
why?
and stuff,
Yeah,
and
why
like,
is the shark this murderous? Like, I wonder if there's a value to doing it like actually like talking to shark experts and treating them like the animal they are, where it's like they're more curious. Like if you bop them, they kind of go away, but they're always like pestering them. Where it's like the intensity is like more in the realism of how the shark or sharks are functioning, where it's like they aren't just like, bruh, I'm gonna get you. They're like
They're constantly
more,
there.
Yeah, and they're more unpredictable.
Like
than
in the,
that. They're like creepier almost.
To go back to, I haven't seen obviously the incredible Indianapolis film starring Nicolas Cage.
Right.
But going back to Jaws, when Quint is describing it, he's like, they're all linked together like they are in this movie. And he says he's talking about how the sharks are just constantly there, like circling them like hyenas.
Yeah.
They're just
Sometimes
sitting there watching.
they
Sometimes
they
shark
go away,
sometimes they wouldn't go away. Sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And so like...
So you could do, that's kind of... That would be a way that hasn't been done, I think, is to have it constantly be there and visible. Like you're always seeing it, just like watching them.
Right,
Yeah.
and constantly... And not make it as much as like a movie shark. Make it more of like a passive animal.
And maybe that's what they're doing in this, because it does seem like they're in the water and that shark should kill them right away. So
Right,
maybe it is just sort of like hanging out. There's a
Doesn't
few
seem like
shots
the
where I'm
shark's
like,
giving them a lot of chances.
yeah, like watching the trailer, I'm like, why is the shark just like chilling?
Right.
So maybe they're doing that.
Bide this
Maybe they
time.
But I just like don't need another shark movie.
Yeah, in general, I unless it's more Deep Blue Sea, because man, Deep Blue Sea Part 3, that movie rocks.
Yes. If you ever see Deep Blue Sea Part 3, skip 2.
Skip 2.
You
2
don't
is
need to
crap.
see 2. 1 and 3. That's where it's at.
It's the sweet spot.
Irish Wish. I'm not just saying words. That's the next
the
trailer.
name of the movie.
Lindsay Lohan.
I just realized the portmanteau of that would just be I wish, right? I
Oh,
wish.
yeah.
It sounds like you're saying Irish with a
Irish.
speech impediment.
You're right. This is about Lindsay Lohan wishes she was married to some guy, and then I think wakes up and she's married to the guy.
Yeah, it's a
Is
sliding,
that-
it's a sliding door situation. She
Sliding
wishes she
doors,
was
yeah.
with this guy instead of that guy, and then wakes up,
Right.
she's with this guy instead of that guy.
Yeah.
It's very like
That's the movie.
it's very like magical love story 101. You know what I mean?
It's,
Where
it's very
like,
early aughts
Yeah.
rom-com stuff. Like
Oh,
it's like
for
13
sure.
going on 30,
Yeah, it's what I mean. It's appropriate, I guess, because it
Yeah.
feels like that Freaky Friday remake with Lindsay Lohan, like kind of that era, started that reignited that kind of trend of that kind of movie, and here she is doing it. I don't know,
Yeah, you're
15, 20 years later.
Yeah, you're right, because after that they did the one with Zac Efron and Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
It was just like
they did the one with Jason Bateman and Ryan Reynolds.
yeah, and even just like not serendipity, but like I feel like magic romance was a big thing
In the
and then
90s
it
too,
went
late
away.
90s.
Yeah.
I want the opposite of this. And what I mean by that is I want a movie about it can be starring Lindsay Lohan still, and she's engaged or married to a guy who then all of a sudden goes, listen, I got to be honest with you. Your entire memories of me is fabricated. I went to like a magic ring shop or whatever and made this wish, and the zany shopkeeper gave me this, and you're all in my wish. And so I just want the opposite version where it's like I'm sick of watching this from the perspective of the person who made the wish. I want someone to have to reconcile the idea that their entire memories are a fabricated lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that they don't actually love
coming
this
to terms
person.
with like, and like also like, am I am I a real person? Am I fake? Was
Right.
I invented for this person's wish, or did we like know each other in passing? Like why? How? Because also you'd know the truth, quote unquote, but you'd still feel the wish feelings. Like you'd be like, but I love this person, but they're telling me that it's a lie, but I feel the feelings still.
Right.
That's kind of they do a little bit of that in Palm Springs.
A little bit,
okay, I haven't watched that.
Because it's kind of from her point of view as opposed to
where she slowly realizes the gimmick was going
pretty,
on. Yeah,
you do start with Andy Samberg, but like it really is more from her point of view, and you're revealed the things about how the time loop works as she learns it, and then there's like some sinister reveals later on where she's like, oh shit, am I just? And anyway, they do a little bit of that.
Highly recommend. Very good.
It is a good movie. Yeah,
I have to watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Irish Wish.
Oh yeah, looks like shit. Whatever.
Sounds like a show.
Like I don't know. Like it
looks like a Hallmark movie that got Lindsay Lohan.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
It looks harmless. I'm glad she's.
Yeah,
I'm glad she's back.
I came down pretty hard on it. If you like shit like this, then it's good.
Looks totally harmless. Like we really.
Yeah, it's fine.
Boy,
movie. It's about time. It's.
I mean, for the
Enchanted.
record, she also did Falling for Christmas in 2022.
Yeah.
So I think this has been like a thing. That she's
yes.
up to right now.
She's been doing very Hallmarky movies for a while.
Yeah,
now.
it's. Well. I wrote this in the notes to like I wonder if people like the teens now even do they remember, like, do they know how big she was for that brief period of time? Like she was really huge for like after between Freaky Friday and Mean Girls, like she blew up and was this huge thing, and then it's surreal to have like a Mean Girls remake in the theaters right now.
Yes.
Right.
Watching this trailer of Lindsay Lohan kind of, making her comeback. Like this isn't the first movie she's made in a long time, but like, I don't know. It's just, there's a surreal quality to this for me.
Yes. Yeah. No,
it's like, man, we really kind of, I don't know.
Because her like reign of not terror, her reign of being in like very popular was also pretty brief.
It was extremely brief. Yeah.
It was a few, like 2 or 3 years, but like intensely.
Yeah.
She was everywhere for just a couple years and then completely gone.
Probably shouldn't do that to teenagers.
You shouldn't do that to teenagers. Oh,
it's like Hanson. Like, remember Hanson?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, they're out there somewhere still playing.
I think they're still making
Hanson.
music. Yeah,
they're still making music, and some of it's not
right.
bad.
And that when they're playing, everybody's waiting for them to play that one song.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and it's got to be like, what a interesting life. Like, I don't pity them or anything. I'm just like, what a weird existence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like, what a weird job.
well, yeah, it's like when like the Who goes on tour or whatever, and he's got to sing My Generation, where he's like, "Hope I die before I get old." It's like, bro.
Oh my friend.
You are very old.
Yeah, as a fan of 70s punk, there's a lot of that when you go and see them now, where they're like, this song was about how old people suck, and
Now we're old.
I guess we have to play it.
I mean,
like,
that's pretty punk rock.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
saying,
I guess
saying fuck you to your younger self. Basically, like, I'm still here.
right. Yeah, it's a lot of people who are like, honestly, we thought we'd be dead.
Yeah,
but here
really
we are.
expecting to be dead.
Yeah.
I made a lot of decisions based on that assumption.
Yeah. So yeah, and like with Lindsay Lohan, it's like this idea of like this is what she does. It's her job, right? So like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It reminds me a little bit of like when like Liam Neeson does these action movies that are just sort of whatever, where it's like, just
It's his job.
This was her genre. She did like romance, magical stuff. It's like, where do you go? You do these like Hallmark type movies, I guess. This like,
You know.
you want to talk about this next fucking thing?
Yes.
I forgot about this
Oh
thing.
my god. Yeah.
Daddio.
Daddio. This
is okay. So
I just wanted to say real quick, there's a time, like 20 years ago, like mid-late 90s, this would have gotten a major push. Like it would have been a major Oscar push, a movie like this. With fucking Sean Penn being a sad cab driver.
it's a very from what I can tell, it all takes place in the cab. The movie.
It seems to.
It's just a woman taking a cab ride and having it's very 90s. It's very like we're experimenting with what movies can be vibes, and it's this woman taking a cab ride, and the cab driver is fucking Sean Penn, and the woman is Dakota Johnson, and that's the movie.
That's the movie.
And it kind of hinges on like, do you want to see these people interact? And personally, my answer is not particularly.
The answer is not really.
But that doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's bad. You're right. I'm sure that Sean Penn, the talented Academy Award-winning actor, does a fine job in this.
Yeah.
I'm less sure about Dakota Johnson's performance, being, as the trailer puts, a revelation.
I laughed out loud when that came on
Oh
screen.
no.
But
Listen.
I'm sure like there's some nice poignant little Oscar-y lines in there about humanity and the way people are, and I'm sure she learns about her relationship to relationships and other people.
Yeah, it seems to be a pretty simple metaphor, like she's in a cab, but like the point of it, you need to stop every once in a while in your go-go life and appreciate the people and things around you, like take a minute and talk to this cab driver and discover his whole ass life, I guess.
I think this was a blacklist darling.
Sure, I bet.
Yeah. And I see the appeal. It's all one cab, so you can spend the whole budget on the actors.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a play, it can be, and it's basically an audition tape. I need to note that it's rated R for language and, quote, brief graphic nudity.
Hell
and so that just sends my mind. Yeah.
Oh no, is he going to whip his dick out?
Is Sean going to whip his dick out? Is the reveal going to be that this like soulful cab driver
Tearfully
is
whips
just
his
a
dick out.
maniac?
Jesus.
I
don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I was gonna make a joke about something like that happening, but then you said that it might happen. So
Right. I don't know.
I don't feel good anymore.
I don't know, man. My last.
Who's the pervert? Which one of them is the pervert?
Who's the pervert? Yes.
Right? That's an
what this should be
excellent
called.
point.
There's definitely a pervert in that cab, but we just don't know which one.
We don't know which one. They could be in the trunk.
It's all connected.
Right,
She connects them all.
The pervert's in the trunk.
Yeah. At the very end. A surprise cameo.
Surprise
like
pervert.
Jim Carrey as the pervert or something, just running out.
Jumps
where
out
the
of the
budget
trunk.
went.
Do
Yep.
not go in there.
Yeah.
Because he took a big shit in the trunk.
Yeah, he took a shit.
Exactly.
He wants you to not go in there, but he wants you to know. That's what he likes. He likes you to know.
That's his kink. Yeah.
I have. I don't know. I don't know. It's just. I don't know. I'm so. I've not seen the 50 Shades movie, but I came off of Madam Web, which.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've seen the 50
you can
Shades.
tell she's tanking that production out of spite. But like,
Right, like part of me is like, I want this to be good for her because of Madam Web, where it's like Madam Web was such a fucking shit show that I don't blame her. So it's like, yeah, I hope she's really good in this. Having watched 50 Shades, the problem with her is that 50 Shades is also not a film you can judge acting with.
yeah.
And
I
so it's
keep
like-
thinking about Twilight, like.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Or
So-
even like, go back to like the Phantom Menace and stuff. Where it's like, Natalie Portman, you're an incredible actress. How is this happening right now?
Right.
Yeah, it's really really hard to gauge that.
So if anything, Dakota Johnson needs a film like this. Like she needs something where we can like finally gauge
Prove it, yeah, or like
what kind of an actress she is.
Because there's something there is something about her vibe that could be really compelling and fun in the right project, but like that vibe, like for example in Madam Web, is like, oh, you don't care about
You're a
acting.
dickhead.
You're like, yeah, like this
But
is.
yeah,
I mean,
But like
she's-
that, but like her thing, it's like aloof, but it's like thoughtful. There's something about it that could be really
it's
good.
a bit of a Meryl Streep quality,
yeah.
Yeah.
in my opinion. But yeah, no, I totally see what you're talking about.
she was in Bad Times at the El Royale. I need to rewatch that.
That's right. She's not bad
Is she
in that.
good in that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She actually is. Yeah.
I'm wondering if she's like speaking of Twilight, she's a fucking
right. Because we
Kristen
didn't
Stewart,
know either of them.
where like she's such
Kristen
a
Stewart or
weirdo.
Robert Pattinson. Remember, like, what are these guys?
Right, because
they're
also
both great.
They're both great and weirdos, and like very like they're very talented.
It's just the movie's crap. Like, what are you gonna do?
Just so happens.
And honestly, my vibe for her in Madam Web was this is a weirdo. She's a weirdo.
That's
Give her
right.
a weirdo role.
Even her
but she's-
interviews, I'm like, you're kind of weird.
Yeah.
And,
Like she kind of rules, I think. Like I'm kind of like I want to know. I want
It's
her
tough.
to get a movie that like uses her weirdness.
right. Well, it's like I need to see one like pure like there it is, there she is, because otherwise she's just an untalented mean person. Like, right? Like it's just like you seem kind of a jerk and like you don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Or you're just like having fun, you're kind of weird, and you're also very talented. And it's like I don't know which one it is yet.
I don't know.
Right now, she's the meanest person in
She's
Madam
like
Web.
the meanest, right? Like you're just like this like awful person. It's like doesn't want to be anywhere
so
you
fucking
are.
mean in that movie.
Have we all watched Madam Web?
I've seen enough. I just got off Lady Ballers, man. I can't watch Madam
Yeah,
Web
that's
the whole
fair.
way
That's
through.
Don't put me through this.
All right. Well, let's talk about The Watchers.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
This is based off a novel, and it's written and directed by Ashana Shyamalan, which is in fact the child of M. Night. And like this trailer, I originally saw the teaser, and the teaser even more did this like slow pan of the woods, and as they did the slow pan, the words panned through that said "from M. Night," and it was just like, oh fuck, Shyamalan. And I was like, all right,
Yeah, we're going to
Producer.
the woods that make you
Producer.
old.
Producer, to be clear.
producer.
Yeah, he's a producer.
So that's something.
I think this is it's another Dakota Fanning, in a house, a weird house in the middle of the woods that is just made of all one-way glass. So the premise is there's entities of some sort watching them from the outside at all times, but you can't see them because it's a one-way, two-way mirror.
Right.
I forget what it's actually called,
Me
but
too.
you guys know the interrogation room glass,
Yeah.
where they can see in, but you can't
Half's a
see
mirror,
out.
half's a window. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a cool. I like that premise. That's a cool like Twilight Zone premise. There is a Twilight Zone episode that is this very closely.
Yeah. Little Human Zoo,
So,
human
yeah.
TV show stuff.
Yeah, it's
honestly,
an
like-
alien human zoo, right?
It's
Like-
the Human Zoo was the
I-
Twilight Zone version, but
Yeah, it seems like there's I don't know, like Dakota Fanning's really talented. There are some things in the trailer I was like, okay, creepy.
it's a
That's
creepy idea. Yeah,
creepy stuff. It could be fucking dog shit. But like watching it, like maybe. Could be
Yeah.
I
pretty good.
really want Shyamalan's kid to just blow him out of the water as a
right?
director,
Like
writer.
it could easily be
Yeah.
like I learned my dad's lessons.
Yeah.
He didn't learn his lessons. I had to learn the lessons, and here's what a good movie looks like.
Yeah.
Not that he has
I would
any,
love that.
like a few good movies, but like
No,
yeah.
Shyamalan, I also put in that category where I'm like, I love that he's making huge swings. Do they land all the time? No,
not all the
They
time,
re- they-
but
they
sometimes
don't.
they do.
Exactly.
Sometimes
And
they
so,
do. Also,
Sometimes
like
they
he
do.
didn't. What is it? He did direct Knock at the Cabin.
He
Yeah.
did.
I
Yes.
thought he only produced that. I didn't hate that actually. It was pretty good.
I was weirded out by that one.
The ending, I wasn't sure how I was supposed to interpret it. I'm sure he didn't. There's like a weird political aspect to it that I'm certain he didn't mean.
I
Anyway,
guess it's different in the book.
We don't need that. Yeah.
Well,
but like it was
yeah, I
serviceable.
mean-
You got some Batista good
It's
stuff in
a
there. It's like
decent enough idea for a thriller, and it was okay. Yeah, I think it really. This movie does look creepy, but it really it's such like it's so interesting how our reaction to seeing M. Night's name on a movie has like changed. Like it was hype, and then it was like and then it was back to hype again, and now it's kind of like in a weird place in between where it's like you're making some good stuff, but also the beach that makes you old. Like,
it's an extreme roll of the dice. But I mean, the thing is,
he makes big swings. We just got done saying how movies need to be weird. He makes weird fucking movies. I'll give him that.
Right.
And
I would
this
argue
is not
that
his movie,
movies.
to be clear.
Right.
Oh yeah. But while we're on the subject, I think his movies are more hits or more misses than hits.
Yes,
I think
For me, yeah.
ultimately the issue. But like, yeah, that has nothing to do with his kid and what this could be. It also has Georgina Campbell, who is in Barbarian, and a bunch of really good stuff. So like, I don't know, I like the cast here, and of course it's very dependent on that cast. So
Yeah. It's the thing.
I mean, I'm
like,
super fucking curious.
Like, there's nothing in it that looked like bad. It's just aside from the name that popped up.
Yeah.
So it could, easily be like totally fine, and maybe there's some cool twisty stuff that isn't just like Alien Zoo.
Yeah, or maybe it doesn't have to be twisty at all. You know, like
Well,
maybe they
that's
just start
the other
with
option is, like-
it's an alien zoo. Now, how do we get out of it? You know, or
Exactly,
something
yeah.
like that.
Well, that's sort of what I mean, like almost by like the like learning his lessons for him, where it's like it can just be a straightforward movie. Like, we don't need to do the gimmick thing that you
Just
kind of
make 'em-
latched
yeah.
onto. Just like make a movie.
Make a normal movie.
Yeah,
Could
we
just be
like
a movie.
people like
It's fine.
movies. It's fine.
People like
Just
movies.
make
People
one.
like movies.
Yeah. All right.
I just real
subject-
quick. For the previous one for Daddio, one of us had mentioned how it seems almost like a play, or like it could be a play. I'd be curious to see like a version of this premise done as a play, because you could do it if the focus
In
was
theory,
all.
you could do it,
In
right?
theory, you could do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It looks like they go out off into the world, but like
Yeah.
that would be a good setting for a play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Final trailer is for A24's I Saw the TV Glow. This is from the director of We're All Going to the World's Fair. I saw it. Did either of you two see that movie?
I haven't watched it yet, but it's been on my list for a minute.
It's a fascinating movie. I really liked it. That is to say, it's slower than I think people expected from just the trailer, but it's sort of about this teenage girl who's just very lonely and very depressed, and gets sort of sucked into like kind of an internet like Slenderman type meme-ish thing, and it's sort of just a looking at teen loneliness and depression and the internet age, and so it's just like a really, I don't know, interesting movie about that. And this kind of looks similar, which is like these two teenagers, they seem to have this supernatural TV show they like that gets canceled, I guess. This is a synopsis. But obviously
It's like an old cult,
fucking
like
more
a cult
than that.
classic show kind of thing.
Or like I got a little bit of. Did you guys ever see Channel Zero?
No.
It's a horror show. I think it's an anthology show, but the first season is a similar idea where it's like all these people who grew up in this small town have vague memories of this show,
right.
but it's like weird and off, and none of them can really quite pin it down. It seems like there's a little bit of that around this TV show in this trailer.
Yes, where you're not sure if the TV show exists.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so I don't know.
I'm down with this movie. Like, it's either gonna be not very good or fucking awesome. I think like it looks really cool and just visually a lot of interesting stuff going on.
Yes.
Love having the D&D wizard.
Oh
in
yeah.
there.
Yeah, he's great.
He's great. Also,
Justice Smith, I think is his name.
yeah. And the other person in it is one of Bill and Ted's kids in the third Bill and Ted movie.
Oh shit!
Who did an amazing job. I was watching the trailer. I was like, why do I know this person? Who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Yeah, Bill and Ted.
That's awesome.
Bridget Lundy Payne is their name.
Thank you.
Yeah, this looks cool. It looks trippy. It looks a little creepy in some spots. Like it,
yeah, it's exactly. We're all going through the World's Fair. What's interesting about that movie is that it's a found footage, right? But it doesn't. It's not. You know how a lot of found footages are like, this is an excuse to be very cheap.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's very well shot and like kind of weird as well in the cinematography. Like they take opportunities to do that. So it's all to say that this director like I'm just like, very excited for her to have like a non-found footage film to play around in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because this looks really good for that reason.
Yeah, like early, like crafting the
And there's some stylistic stuff in there that reminds me a little bit of like Edgar Wright and Scott Pilgrim specifically. Not like as, over the top, but there's really stylized images in it. I don't know. This movie looks really cool.
Some of the color and light used in it is really cool.
Yeah.
And like that last shot in the trailer of the TV sparking. It was like really cool in a way where it's like that could have looked. That's the only way it could have looked unique. They did something about it that looked really unique that I just didn't expect, even though it's such a TV energy coming out of a TV or whatever. But they just did it. I don't know. It looks really cool, visually interesting, and those two actors are really cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this.
It's the one trailer that I was like, I want to see that movie.
Yeah,
as opposed to like Dave and Tom made me watch this fucking trailer for this fucking movie I'm never gonna see. But this looks really good.
The one last thing I wanted to point out is that Fred Durst is in this film.
You did point that out.
I don't know what that
going on
means.
there?
Don't know what that means.
What's going on with Fred?
Saw his
He was
name in the
an episode of
credits.
House.
Yeah.
Like he's been sort of in movies or in TV for a while. I assume he's like the guy in the TV show or something like that. But
Right.
Director of The Fanatic, Fred Durst. I don't know what's going on with him.
Excited to see what comes next from him, man. The Fanatic is a singular film.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's always kind of throwing me off. Where I'm like, I am kind of... Cody, did you see The Fanatic?
No.
Have you heard of The Fanatic?
I've heard of The Fanatic.
Yeah, it is a...
It's pretty
a
incredible.
Movie.
Yeah. It's Travolta, right? Travolta.
Yeah.
It sure is.
It's that
It
when he looks
really
weird,
is.
it looks so weird that I've seen a few images from it. He's
His banged mullet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
I kind of want to watch it
A lot of
again.
decisions were made in this film.
I would say we should watch it on a Friday night, but it feels like a hate crime to like
A little.
watch the
Movie.
movie.
It feels a
So
little
I'm
bit.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I might have to just watch it quietly by myself, just on my phone or something in the bathroom. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna watch it.
That's the way it was meant to be experienced. Anyway, I
Anywho.
saw the TV glow.
Yeah, looks good. Let's thank some more producers.
Let's do it.
Do that. Let us thank. Let us. I am now about to and going to thank Psychic Bigfoot. Thank you.
Thank you.
They get a David Knife Boot Henson.
Like, boot.
They get a Deborah's Awesome. Barbara's Great and Cancer Can Go to Hell.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Dracula the Bus Driving Vampire.
Thank you.
Thank you to Driftless and his Elephant Army demand you watch Lair of the White Worm. We did.
We did.
Thank you to Ed
coming out.
Nug.
Thank you.
Thank you to Exploding Runes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Funky G Mostly Comes Out at Night. Mostly.
Thank
you to Heathcliff's Helping Handfuls.
Thank you.
Thank you to Hey Tom. When are you gonna get us? When are we getting a sequel to Stitches? Thank you.
All right, let me swoop in here.
Every week, Tom.
Thank you to Ombre.
Thank
Thank you
you.
to ImpossibleWorlds.net. Issue 3 is out now. Gorge yourself on our fiction. Gorge.
Thank you.
Thank you to Jay the Crow Baron says, build a guillotine in rich people's yard 2024.
Thank you.
Thank you to Chris Yanovich.
Thank
Thank
you.
you to Lieutenant Frank Drebin, Police Squad.
Thank you.
Thank you to Look Mom on a podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mackenzie Fuck Shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick. Chill.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mercurial Oz.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mike the Lurker.
Thank you.
And thank you to Mongolian Throat Skanking.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
We have to talk about this fucking Willy Wonka experience. I watched this like start on Twitter and then grow within like the span of like a few
couple
hours.
hours,
Like there
yeah.
were TikToks about it within hours of the news.
To
because
explain
I
what
think
it is
everybody.
for who
Yeah.
maybe didn't see it. It is
So
very
in-
online.
It is very online. In I believe Scotland, there was a immersive advertising an immersive Willy Wonka pop-up exhibit that used AI images to show like what it would look like. And then when people showed up to this warehouse, it was so bad that the cops got
The
involved.
police were called.
Yeah,
like they
it's like
gave
a
each
fire
child
festival.
one jelly bean. Like
Yeah,
no
and,
joke,
like,
a single jelly bean.
Yes. And you look at the pictures, it is some amazing shit of like this like shitty warehouse with picnic tables and then like a rainbow stand up or like some like a Candyland ass poster on the wall. It is just kind of incredible.
It looks like a drunk divorced dad tried to make Disneyland for his kids.
Yes.
To win them back, to win back their affection.
Yeah. It's just very funny. It's not even really like a story about AI. Like AI's involved.
No, it's
and
just
it's
a
like,
scammer.
yeah, AI's
like,
scammy, but
right,
it's like
just
this
scammy.
is hilarious.
Like apparently the guy that put it together also is selling a bunch of like AI generated books on Amazon. This is just like his grift. Like,
yeah, I think there is something to say about AI as it relates to grifters, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it makes everything so easy and streamlined. And worse apparently.
Yeah.
But
I did see interviews with both. Like this thing has become like a news story. I saw an interview with both the lady who was playing the Oompa Loompa in this picture that's going around, which is the funniest
miserable.
goddamn picture. She just looks like the weight of every decision of her life is weighing down upon her
Right.
in that moment.
Because you know that's who they're complaining to, right?
Yeah.
Like this poor the guy who organized it is nowhere to be
No,
fucking
he
seen,
wasn't
I'm
there.
Sure.
Like I saw an interview with her where she's just like this yoga teacher who does like activities for children a lot, and she was just like really really bummed out and upset by this.
Yeah.
yeah,
She was like, I was doing my best to make it fun for the kids, but like after a minute, it was like really clear that this wasn't happening. And the guy that played Willy Wonka was like, he said the script that they received was just gibberish, like it was generated gibberish.
From like AI.
Yeah.
It's real Camp Krusty vibes going
Yes,
on here.
yes.
It's just
man.
incredible when something sucks so hard that it makes
cops show
international
up.
news.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and the cops, and
Like
it's
you
just
fucked up your Willy Wonka thing so bad the police were involved.
I just love how we all just sort of stopped and went like, look how bad this was.
Right? Like,
They had this weird monster come out of the wall and scare the shit out of all the kids.
Did they?
yeah,
Yes.
is that the
There's
unknown?
video of it. Like it's this weird wraith. Like it's not anywhere in Willy
it's-
Wonka.
Right, well, it's all AI generated. They invented a character called the Unknown from Willy
my
Willy
God.
Wonka that was this little demon Babadook man who fucking just showed up.
They just
I
have
need
the
to find
Babadook.
this video. Holy
absurd.
shit.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there is something to be said about AI as it, again, relates to scammers with all this. Knowing that the script was gibberish, knowing that this was clearly like...
It gives
They
it can
just-
give the art the appearance of being more professional than it is.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, in the advertisements,
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
what I mean.
Dave,
yeah.
here's a picture of the Unknown.
Oh, good. Let me look at it. Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. That is horrifying.
the scariest fucking.
What does that look? That looks like there's a horror movie that specifically is reminding me of, and I can't think of what. Oh my God! What makes it scarier is that you can tell it's just a dude.
It's just a dude.
Like-
It looks like Alan Moore in a Destro mask.
Yes.
That's what it looks like.
God.
Holy fucking shit! Yeah, it's like I'm not scared it's gonna eat my soul. I'm scared it's gonna stab me and
Right,
rob
It's
me.
gonna
just like-
murder me.
Oh.
Holy shit! That is the hair. Like it's just some guy.
It's
Like,
just a
it's
guy.
just some
They got a
dude.
mask.
Looks
They
like
got
a
some mask.
murderer.
Just crawling around, making a claw hand.
So
Just
you know
looks
what?
like a dude you see on the news.
This, according to the script and the AI, this is the Unknown, Willy Wonka's enemy
Oh my
from-
God!
from the franchise.
I dare say he is enemy to us all.
Yeah, I have
Just Willy
a
Wonka.
I have a hot take. Keep it going. Don't change a thing.
Yeah.
Put it on the road. I will. If you come to LA, I will go to it. And then let's
Honestly,
make a movie
yeah.
version.
He might be able to do that.
Oh wait.
Yeah, he might. Like,
busted ass Willy Wonka
Changed
experience.
nothing. Yeah.
Oh
don't
yeah,
get
no.
better.
I mean, this is like it's canon now. Yeah, Willy Wonka
Yes.
has a character named the Unknown. They're nemesis, and that's what he looks like. Dave, here's a live version of the Unknown popping up if you'd like to see.
Just this dude with a chrome death mask lurches out of this pile of trash at these kids.
God damn it, TikTok. All right, hold on. Let me see this unknown piece of shit. Oh my God, these kids are so happy. Oh no.
Oh, don't worry, that's not gonna last.
Just like all these kids, just like every once in a while, going, "What is that?"
Yeah, they're like
We don't know. We don't know, kid.
The
We don't
kids
know.
are trying. They're like, oh
They
wow.
really wanna be fascinated and wowed by it, but
Oh, look at that fucking creep.
Oh man, they're trying.
Hold on.
They're trying so hard. Like
I'm looping it.
listening to this guy trying to sell it.
so
It's
good.
not the
That's the
creepiest
unknown.
thing. Yeah.
And then it's such a liminal space too. Like it feels like a nightmare. Like you'd have where you're like, I was in a warehouse, but it was also like kind of not a warehouse.
But it was also Candyland, I think.
There were a bunch of
Yeah.
people there, but it felt like I was the only one.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like it's like no, they're all like a bunch of civilians and like normal people here, but like no, this is nobody else is here right now.
Yeah.
Was the quote?
like-
Terrifying.
There is a man we don't know his name. We know him as the Unknown. This
Yeah.
unknown is an evil chocolate maker who lives in the walls. Oh,
Jesus
awesome.
fucking Christ.
Because
Hell yeah.
some kid is going to have a flashback of this experience later on in life and be fully convinced they were involved in some sort of satanic ritual. Like they're
Right.
like, I'm having flashbacks.
Yeah, they're gonna think back at this and be like, surely that wasn't what I'm remembering,
Yeah.
right?
Right, or like watching one of the Wonka movies and be like, wait, where's the unknown? Why didn't they
Yeah.
include the unknown in this movie?
Where is the fan favorite character, the unknown?
The unknown. Oh my God. I want a fan edit now of the Willy Wonka movie where they put him
They
in there.
pop him out there.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Holy
I want to see that
shit.
too.
Everybody look up the images of this instead of just hearing us.
Yeah, it's
React to them.
spectacular.
They're incredible. Should we talk about this other news? So we got these are kind of tied together. This like rise of mid-budget films on international markets, which I feel like we talked about a bit before. I don't know. I don't know if there's too much to say about this specific article. But like
Yeah, it was like we're seeing that like I think we talk about a lot is how there's not a lot of room for mid-budget films in America.
yeah.
It's either like indie film or it's a big blockbuster, and that's pretty much it. But there's, according to this Hollywood Reporter article, there's big international markets for this. Like international studios are buying up these mid-budget projects from people like Margot Robbie and Batista and
Right. And it feels honestly like we're talking about it more. Like Anatomy of a Fall was what we've been talking about, or what keeps trending on Twitter. Although Twitter isn't really a great indicator anymore. Twitter's kind of busted. But like, you know, there hasn't really been. We're kind of at this point where it's like there hasn't been like a real big budget hit. That isn't to say there won't be. Like I think Deadpool will be the first one this summer. When is that? It's coming out fairly soon.
I think May.
But like, it makes sense. That's all. It makes sense that this is going to happen, and yeah, in international theaters it might start, but I don't know.
It's a nice reminder that Hollywood's not the only place that makes movies.
Yeah, for sure. I guess Dune. We got the Dune 2 with the fuckable popcorn. That'll be
Hell yeah,
coming
I
out
bought
next.
that popcorn bucket.
How do you buy it? I've been trying to get it.
You
I
go
want
to
that
AMC
fuckable-
and buy it.
That's right.
Like physically go
You
to
physically
an AMC.
go to an AMC and buy it.
All right.
It's a small price to pay to fuck a bucket of popcorn.
I'm going Saturday. I'm gonna demand a fuckable popcorn.
You
I don't
should.
even need popcorn in it. Yeah. Cody, you've seen this fuckable popcorn?
I have seen the fuckable popcorn.
Good.
I haven't fucked
Good.
it yet, but I've seen it. I've
Yeah.
thought about it.
It crossed my mind.
But this sort of goes into this other news about it's just a follow up because we covered the fact that the director of the new Roadhouse was like really pissed at Amazon and
Yes,
said like
Doug Lyman.
Doug
Born
Lyman
Supremacy
was saying
and
like,
shit. Or Born Identity.
yeah, he was like, this is supposed to go out in theaters. I just think it's funny that Jake Gyllenhaal is like, no, it wasn't. Like it never was.
He's like, they were very clear that it was.
They were very clear that it wasn't going to go. And so like, I think what might have happened is, I think Doug Lyman probably knew it, but wanted it to go in theaters, and so wanted to publicize that this should be in theaters, because I do think it should have been.
Sure, anybody would. I imagine, not anybody, but no, maybe. I'm going to stick with that. Anybody would go see a Roadhouse remake starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
I think you're probably right, because the way he's describing it in this is, and the way it's been reported on before, is that they were offered $65 million to go to if they wanted a theatrical release, but $85 million if they went to streaming. So it really sounds like they're just offering them the distribution costs. Like, look, if you go to theaters, we have to spend that money on distribution, but if you stay streaming, you can have this extra money on the budget. So it seems like they picked the extra money on the budget because you can make a cooler movie that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just
weird.
seems like very like, how could you? I don't know. Like,
I don't want to side with Amazon here, but that doesn't seem that unreasonable.
No, that's the thing that's because like Gyllenhaal saying, well, it was always clear, that could just be him being diplomatic. He doesn't want to piss off anybody. But like the fact that it's such a specific amount that's been reported a lot, it's like that really feels like it feels like it was probably pretty understood. I don't know. Again, like you said, I don't want to like side with Amazon. And they should have just put this in the theater.
I want to see it in theater. I don't know what actually happened here.
You may have to go into a theater and sit down and just bring your like tablet,
watch it on my phone,
watch it in the theater, but you're on your phone or whatever.
That's fine. Yeah, I can do that during another movie. Like watch it while another movie is playing over that movie. When's it coming out?
A couple of weeks, end of March.
Fuck. All right, so I'll walk into Dune. I'll watch it during Dune.
Movies are back.
Start showing it to other people in the theater.
Yeah.
You seen this?
Check it out.
You seen this?
Yeah.
You guys see Roadhouse?
I kind of want to do that with the original Roadhouse too. Like, why even like?
Right here, just showing them the Patrick Swayze Roadhouse.
Yeah, why not? Roadhouse.
You guys seen Roadhouse?
That's what it is. That's what we're watching.
It's pretty cool.
Showing them random old movies I like.
Yeah.
You guys seen The Last Boy Scout?
Do you want to?
Do you want to? I'm watching it. Like, you can lean here, have a share my earbud with him. Should we thank some more producers?
We should thank some more producers. Big ol' sloppy thank you to tell your wife how many Patreon subscriptions you have before you agree to buy a house.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to musical guest Henry Garfield.
Thank you.
I don't know who that is. Thank you to No One Can Hear You Scream and Space McNulty. Thank you. Thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you to Pete Vorpagel.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Numino Ultra Microscopic Silico Volcano Coniosis Anti-Disestablishmentarianism Jones.
Thank you.
Thank you to pre-order TikTok superstar Jason Pargin, Zeus standalone ticking clock thriller and dark satire called I'm Starting to Worry About This Black Box of Doom. Thank you.
But thank you
to Rev MD.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Ricky Cilantro.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rosemary's Baby from Eraserhead.
Thank you.
Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Sorry Cop, world's most laughable centrist.
Thank you. All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to Steven.
Thank you
to the conveniently placed self-destruct button on the top of every baby's head.
Thank you.
Thank you to the ghost of Dave Thomas.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Midnight Patron with patrons at midnight.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Oatmeal Savage.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Tubi Terror Bunny says the strikes may be over, but egg David Zaslav for fun and profit.
Thank you.
Thank you to These 7 Bs.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tiger Drawers, Pratt Thompson. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tip Drizzle.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tux.
Tux.
Thank you to Vincent.
Thank you.
Thank you to Why Don't You Take a Flying Fuck at the Moon.
Thanks.
And thanks to your mom.
Thank you.
Dave.
Yeah.
It's time
Nah.
for you to cut the shit, all right? Just take it and cut it. Cut it in half. Cut it in half.
All right.
And then cut it in half again, because I need to know if you have not one movie that deserves more hype, but do you have two movies that deserve more hype.
I do.
You
I
son of a
quoted the
bitch!
shit.
I knew it. I knew you'd come through.
What the hell? What
Yeah.
the hell? What the hell?
I'm sorry. The shit has been quartered. I had two movies because I ran into these and I just, God damn it, couldn't decide. And they both seem like fairly quick ones. The first movie doesn't need more hype if you're in Thailand. This is called it's called Death Whisperer, or at least that's what the American or English title is. It played already in Thailand. The Thai trailer has 2 million views. All the English trailers have like fucking 10K. It's a horror movie. It's about like a family that has to deal with like a possession.
Yeah.
I'm not selling it because this is all to say that there's not much about it, and what little I've read about it compares it to like The Evil Dead and The Medium, and you can sort of see that in the trailer, like especially during the last like shots. There's like a shot where you're like, oh Jesus, and so like I just think this is like a really sneaky, fun horror movie that I'm sort of just like, where the fuck is it? It's already came out, at least in Thailand. Give me it here. I want it here. What did you guys think of this?
It looks chill. Like
Yeah.
it looks pretty sweet. I fucking love The Medium. Like The Medium.
Yeah.
It's both scary and it's kind of like it has the fun stuff in it. There's a little bit of Evil Dead stuff in it, and then the ending of The Medium just punched me in the fucking gut.
Yeah.
Not that these aren't the same filmmakers, but it just looks like a similar vibe.
It's compared to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, it was compared to it. So I'm on board for this. I hope it is available for me to watch sometime soon.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah. It's about a family of 8 who, have to deal with this possession on top of just,
A very
the-
Deadite-like possession, it seems.
Yes. And so like it's I don't have much else to say other than it's a pretty standard issue horror, but like so is The Medium in a lot of ways, and it's just more about execution. And this just looks like it has some killer execution in it. And so I'm very curious. The second one premiered at the Brooklyn Film Festival, and it's got bought. It's supposed to be released later this year. It's called Breathing In. I hate that title because when you type that in, there's a lot of stuff like it. It takes place in 1901 in South Africa, where British motherfuckers are all up on there.
British and Dutch, yeah.
Yeah, and they're killing each other. And this general comes off of the battlefield to look for sanctuary, it seems like, and he goes into this house with this old woman and her daughter, who is tied to a chair and is being told she can't sleep, and there's this sort of seduction element, and it just really seems like these fuckers are some sort of vampires. I'm getting some sort of vampire, and it's mostly that. Apparently, much like I don't know, Sean Penn in a cab, the whole thing is like a play version where it's just 3 people in a room, and it's a horror movie. It's
yeah,
and that's it. It's the reviews are sort of comparing it to a stage production, not just in that setting, but in the acting too. That it's all kind of feels like a stage play, and so I'm very curious about this one. What did you guys think of this one?
Yeah, I mean, it looks really compelling, just interesting. Even the shot choice, knowing that it's only in one place, it seems like it's got legs to keep that going the entire time.
Yeah. Every image in the trailer is cool and creepy. I'm getting a witch vibe from it.
The
Like
reviews
a
were
bit
comparing
of
it
the
to
witch,
that, too.
a bit of Gretel and Hansel. It just looks creepy. It feels like a dark folk tale or fairy tale, right? The setup that's a fucking folk tale or Grimm's fairy tale setup where a traveler looking for shelter comes inside and finds this old crone with this beautiful young daughter who is tied to a chair, and it's I can't go to sleep.
Yeah,
That feels like the beginning of a fucking dark ass fairy tale or something.
Oh yeah, it's lightly Baldur's Gate side mission, isn't it? Like there's the witch in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, the hag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
don't know if
I'm
I've
not
got to
even-
that point yet. I'm still in
okay.
Act 1, guys.
Ooh, yeah.
It's an Act 1. It's an Act 1.
It is?
It's
Okay.
It is.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, like it's a very classic idea, and I'm curious to know where it'll go. And
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, nothing against people in a cab talking about relationships, but like for like a one location thing, this just feels a little more meat.
Yes, yeah.
Especially for me, a horror fan. I love horror movies that limit themselves like this. So, yeah, I'm super
The
curious about
genre
both of these.
hook definitely makes it more exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's not as limited as a cab too. Like you have the
Right.
house, which is creepy and spooky, and the surrounding environs, and it looks
Yeah,
good,
exactly.
man. It looks good.
Looks good. Check out these trailers. Breathing In and Death Whisperer.
And yeah,
Those
not,
are the
not a
trailers.
great title. You're right. Breathing in.
Yeah, breathing
No.
in.
It doesn't really tell me anything, and
Like a Bush lyric.
I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
why it's. I'm like breathing in. Yeah, we all do that. We breathe out
Exactly,
too.
right,
Like, what
yeah.
does that have
Like,
to
what
do with
way?
this? Yeah, I don't know.
Oh
And
man,
maybe it's like once you see it, it's like, oh, great title.
Yeah, you're
but
like, oh, breathing in.
but you
yeah.
want a title that makes me want to see the movie.
It makes it easy to Google. Like, I don't
yeah,
know.
exactly.
Uh,
But if the title's the worst part of the movie, then that's fine.
exactly. Yeah.
we can
Very
work
true.
with that.
I can deal with that.
I was trying to think of an example of a good movie with a really shitty title.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
gotta be
know.
one.
I mean, you type breathing in, you get breathe, keep breathing. Like you just get like several because it's such a small. I don't know. Make it just like a Make it like a custom password. Make it like just a combination of letters and symbols, and then we'll remember.
It'll always
you
come
you
up.
Google that, it'll always come up. That's what you do.
Yeah.
That one witch movie.
Yeah.
Just name it like a Friends episode. All right.
Yeah.
A lot of articles about how the lungs work.
Yep. You'll get that.
Maybe that's
How do
what
they
it
work?
is. Yeah. She's going to
breathing
sit him
in.
down and explain to him the physiology of the respiratory system.
Should have called it diaphragm.
Sorry, this is off. Sorry, I also Googled it in the National Institutes of Health. How lungs work, what breathing does for the body. It's just a very funny title for
It's very
me.
funny.
Because I'm like, the benefits of breathing.
Yeah.
Let's look into
How
it.
do we?
Pros and cons to breathing.
Yeah.
Cons, can't do it underwater.
Yeah, it's true.
Can't do it. That's right.
Guys, that's a sewed.
That's a so.
We are
Episode.
sufficiently hyped.
Yeah.
Cody, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you so much for having me once again. Always a pleasure. And always movies. Hi.
Forever movies.
Always movies. It is us who are feeling the pleasure.
Did you
Good.
want to hit any? Do
Actually.
you have any plugs you want to hit again?
Standard stuff. Google my name. I'm on the Everything app. Twitter.com. Dr. Mr. Cody on most accounts. Some More News is the name of the show on YouTube. Even More News is the name of the podcast. The Hot Shapes is the name of the band. And I think that's it. I think those are the things.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
We have a Patreon, patreon.com/Gamefully Unemployed, GAMEFULLY, Unemployed. We have exclusive podcasts on there, like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder's Maniac, Star Trek The Next Futurama, Spiel Boys. We watch movies every Friday night on our Patreon on our Discord. We have a Discord community, and we watch movies every Friday night via that. Great movies, fun movies. People love movies. And
We
so,
love movies.
Can't get enough
yeah,
of them.
it stands to reason that you'll love watching movies with us.
With us. We also have a store. Head over to GamefullyUnemployed.com where you can find a link to our Teespring store. We have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs you can get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, posters, all sorts of things. So slap your breathing little peepers onto that.
Yeah.
Breathing little eyes. Like,
Slap your eyes. Slap them.
Slap.
like a Men in
slap 'em.
Black alien. Yeah, slap those eyes on there.
Yeah.
All right. Say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye. Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, Corlew, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is produced by Michael Vincent Bramley. You can find more of his artwork at instagram.com/mvbramleyart. Our episode artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.